Let's be honest for a second. Most people are going to end 2026 exactly the same way they ended 2025. Same habits, same excuses, same people draining them, same promises to start fresh that quietly die by February. And it's not because they're lazy or unlucky, it's because nobody ever sat them down and told them the truth about how life actually works. So let's fix that right now. Stay with me, because some of these are going to sting a little. That's usually a sign they're true. You're exhausted and you don't even know why. You wake up tired even after sleeping 8 hours. You feel behind even when you're doing everything right. That's not laziness. That's the weight of carrying things that were never yours to carry. Other people's opinions, other people's approval, other people's comfort. And if you don't put that weight down this year, it's going to follow you into the next one too. So here's what actually needs to change. 1. Stop asking for permission to live your life. Every time you wait for someone's approval, you hand them the steering wheel. Take it back. 2. You don't need a whole team believing in you. You need one person who refuses to quit. You. That's the only vote that counts in the end. 3. Growth only happens at the exact point where you stop lying to yourself. Not to others, to yourself. That's the real starting line. 4. If you can't control it, stop rehearsing it in your head at 2 a.m. Worrying about it twice, once when it happens and once in your imagination, is a tax you don't have to pay. 5. Nobody's coming to fix your peace for you. Not a relationship, not a new job, not a new city. Peace is an inside job, or it isn't peace at all. 6. Pick 3 priorities this year, not 10, not 5. 3. Everything else is just noise wearing a to-do list costume. 7. Stop assuming people think like you. Most disappointment isn't betrayal. It's you expecting someone else's brain to run your operating system. 8. The first time someone shows you who they are, believe them completely. The 10th time they do it, that's not new information. That's just you refusing to update. 9. People treat you exactly the way you've silently agreed to be treated. Nobody's crossing a boundary you never actually built. 10. Watch how someone acts the moment you stop being useful to them. That reaction is the truest thing they'll ever show you. 11. When I'm sorry becomes the only thing that ever changes, and not the behavior. That's your cue to leave, not to wait for apology number 12. 12. Being endlessly available to people who only remember you when it's convenient isn't loyalty. It's a habit you can break today. 13. Sometimes the lesson life is teaching you isn't about being a bad person. It's about being a good person to someone who never deserved the effort. 14. You're allowed to forgive someone quietly and never speak to them again. Forgiveness is for your chest, not for their phone number. 15. Missing someone is just memory doing its job. It's not a signal to text them back. Those are 2 completely different things. 16. Some people are meant to live in your memories, not your present. That's not failure. That's just how life sorts people. 17. The skill nobody teaches you is knowing how to walk away. Not from red flags, from green flags that stop growing. 18. Close a door today, not out of anger, just because it leads nowhere, and every minute you keep it open is a minute you're not walking toward the one that does. 19. The moment you stop blaming your situation and start owning your next move, you get your power back. Blame feels good for about 5 minutes. Ownership feels good for years. 20. Undisciplined people aren't free. They're just controlled by whatever mood shows up first each morning. Discipline is what freedom actually looks like from the inside. 21. You cannot make everyone happy without slowly making yourself miserable. Pick one. It should be you. 22. Being honest will cost you a few people this year. Let them go. Honesty doesn't shrink your circle. It just reveals who was actually in it. 23. If your intentions were real, you never lose anyone. People lose you. There's a difference and it matters. 24. You can't rewrite other people. You can rewrite your circle, your city, your habits, or all 3. Stop trying to negotiate with people who were never going to change. 25. Keep your plans quiet until they're real. Not everyone clapping for you now is clapping for the same reason later. 26. Don't announce the comeback, just become it. Let people notice on their own. It hits different when they can't argue with results. 27. Get comfortable being disliked by people who only like the version of you that made yourself smaller. 28. You never really lose what belonged to you, and you were never really keeping what didn't. Let that settle your mind about the things you're still holding on to. 29. The best comeback to anyone who hurt you isn't a message. It's them realizing, a year from now, that they're no longer taking up space in your head at all. 30. At the end of the day, the only lasting peace is the kind you build yourself. Everything borrowed from outside, attention, applause, approval, runs out. What you build inside doesn't. Here's the part that actually decides how your year goes. None of this works if you just nod along and close the video. These aren't quotes to screenshot and forget by Wednesday. They're decisions you make on the boring, unfilmed Tuesday afternoons when nobody's watching and nothing's forcing you to choose differently. 2026 doesn't transform because a new number shows up on the calendar. It transforms because you stopped waiting for permission, stopped explaining yourself to people who weren't listening anyway, and started building the kind of life that doesn't need anyone's approval to feel complete. Pick one of these today, just one. Live it for the next 7 days before you move to the next. That's how the whole year changes. Not all at once, one decision at a time.